Welcome to Black News Tonight. I'm your host, Marc Lamont Hill. We have more shocking developments coming from Haiti surrounding the murder of the nation's president. Last night, here on the show, we were the first news network anywhere to report that Colombian mercenaries were among those suspected in the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. Here's a look at that bombshell interview.
Around 14 to 15 foreigners, mainly Colombians, were part of the commando who stormed the private residence of the president. Because it was a commando of foreigners on top of it, who came to Haiti, and they were paid to do so. So right now, we have to find out who had the money to pay commandos to do so.
Well, what you heard here first on Black News Tonight seems to be just the tip of the iceberg. Events in Haiti are indeed taking on international proportions. Here's the latest. Haitian police say that it was a foreign hit squad, a group of 28 mercenaries, 26 of them Colombians, that carried out the assassination. According to the government of Colombia, at least 6 are former members of that country's military. The Colombian gunmen are said to have entered Haiti from the Dominican Republic. 2 of the suspects are believed to hold both U.S. and Haitian citizenship. The 2 Americans claim they were just, quote, translators in the plot, according to a Haitian judge. The government of Taiwan says police have arrested 11 armed suspects trying to break into its embassy in Port-au-Prince. Whether the suspects were involved in the assassination, well, that's still being investigated. And now, Haiti's interim government is asking the U.S. to deploy troops to protect key country infrastructures. We'll be continuing to cover the situation in Haiti, and we'll be bringing you more news as it develops. The 45-year-old white man who was at the heart of a massive community protest in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, is now facing additional charges.
And you want to know where I was when all this happened?
I don't care.
At work.
I don't care where you were.
At morgue. Just like I told the Mount Laurel police, get these out of here, and you can't do. That's me talking.
Edward C. Mathews is his name, and he was arrested for harassment and bias intimidation earlier this week after videos of him yelling racial slurs went viral. Now he faces charges of stalking and damaging his neighbor's vehicles, as well as drug violations. The Burlington County Prosecutor's Office is also doing an independent review of all previously reported incidents involving Mathews, as residents say Mathews' harassment of people of color in the town has been happening for years. Mathews has a detention hearing scheduled for next week. The attorney for Breonna Taylor's family is suing the Louisville Metro Police Department. They're claiming they may have lied about body cam footage. Attorney Sam Aguiar filed a new lawsuit this week claiming Louisville police are in possession of more body camera video from the night Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by police in her apartment. Authorities have repeatedly claimed that they have no such footage. But the lawsuit alleges at least 2 officers involved in executing the fatal no-knock warrant wore a body cam that automatically activates. Aguiar is also asking the judge to intervene by ordering the department to show body cam information. Los Angeles County is seeing a dramatic rise in new COVID-19 infections. Officials there reported a 165% increase in confirmed cases over the last weekend, driven by the more contagious Delta variant. Public health officials stressed that vaccines remain the most important tool we have to keep transmission of the virus low. So far, fully vaccinated residents in Los Angeles have made up just a small fraction, only 0.6% of new infections. This is a very simple calculus, family. Get vaccinated. If you get vaccinated, you probably won't get COVID. If you do get COVID, you almost definitely won't get so sick you need to be hooked to a ventilator. You probably won't need to be in a hospital. You're much less likely to pass it to people who you love. The people in the states that don't have COVID vaccines being taken, the more people don't take the COVID vaccine, the more we see infection rates go up. The more we see infection rates go down, it's because people are vaccinated. This is not rocket science. This is not some fancy algorithm. If you get a vaccine, you're less likely to die, and so are the people around you. So get vaccinated. Anyway, one of the world's biggest drug makers with a different message from two top federal agencies on COVID-19 vaccine boosters. Citing immunity concerns, Pfizer says it's stepping up efforts to develop a third dose against coronavirus. Mary Maloney takes a closer look at the debate.
Pfizer and two government agencies out of sync over booster shots. The drug maker saying it's ramping up efforts to develop a third dose that they hope will better protect people from variants. Citing waning immunity from its coronavirus vaccine, Pfizer saying it will soon publish data about a booster and submit it to the FDA, European Medicines Agency, and other regulators for emergency approval. But then, in a rare move, the FDA and CDC came forward together with a different take, saying Americans don't need boosters yet and that it's not up to companies alone to decide when they may be needed.
I'm absolutely concerned about the confusion. I hope that they can get on the same page.
Former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams calling out the lack of coordination between the government and vaccine companies.
This whiplash really is troubling to the American people. But understand, vaccinations are your best bet right now. They're still incredibly effective.
The drug maker's vaccine requires 2 doses to provide full immunity. But for months, Pfizer has been hinting at the need for a third dose, citing the possibility that immunity may weaken over time. The debate erupting as the Delta variant is becoming the dominant variant, spreading quickly across the U.S. At Cox Health in Springfield, Missouri, 90% of coronavirus patients tested have the Delta variant.
If we don't get enough vaccinated, there's going to be another variant that's probably worse. It's just, that's the way viruses work.
Pfizer says its research shows that booster doses of its vaccine produce levels of neutralizing antibodies that are 5 to 10 times higher than what's produced after 2 doses. All right, let's head now to East Africa, where the world's youngest country marks a decade of independence while looking forward to peace. Today, South Sudan officially hit 10 years of operating as an independent country, as President Salva Kiir, an ethnic Dinka, promised he would not return the country back to war again. South Sudan has been marred by a recent civil war which ended in 2018 but led to almost 400,000 lives lost while leaving millions of people displaced. According to UNICEF, South Sudan has 8 million people dependent on humanitarian aid, with 300,000 children under the age of 5 at risk for starvation. In Nigeria, a demand for stolen artifacts. The government wants 1,130 Benin bronzes returned that have been kept in Germany since the 19th century. El-Haji Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information and Culture, made the demand on Wednesday. Germany is reportedly ready to hand over the artifacts. Mohammed says the issue of origin shouldn't be a problem since the bronzes are Benin, showing that they come from the royal palace that is now Nigeria. A 1,174-carat diamond has been mined in Botswana. The rare rock was discovered in the Karo diamond mine last month, and it was presented to the government in a ceremony on Wednesday. This is the second massive diamond found in the country over the course of just a few weeks.